There was there's another plant that grows in the desert, Athel. Are you familiar with Athel trees? Tamarix?
Tamarix, yeah.
Okay.
That's a nasty invasive.
Right, yeah. There's two species of it, but both of them they're both water hogs too.
Yes.
There was a place in Death Valley, southern Death Valley, called Saratoga Springs. It's still there, but there used to be a health resort there in the early 1900s, 1920s and 30s, you know. And they planted a bunch of these Athel trees. And when it became a national monument, you know, they shut down the health resort. And all these Athel trees, you know, and salt cedar is another common name for them.
Yep.
And they kind of look like they have pine needles on them in a way. But if you know anything about pines now, you know the needles have to be in a sheath, otherwise it's not a pine. So this isn't a pine at all, but they are water hogs. They're actually native to Eurasia area, and they got brought here somehow, and they've escaped. And they're yeah, and there's tons of them in Afton Canyon and stuff. Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, yeah, and they have eradication programs to try to control those. So anyhow, they were. The National Park Service, they kind of tore out most of the foundations and stuff of the health resort, and they wanted to cut down any non-native trees, which meant that they had to cut down all the Athel trees. Once they cut the Athel trees, the water in Saratoga Springs rose 3 feet. 3 feet. It's amazing. And Saratoga Springs is the largest body of water in Death Valley. It's maybe an acre and a half of water. It's probably as big as this, you know. But it doesn't look like that much water because so many plants, you know, tules and rushes and stuff like that have grown into it, you know. So as far as open water, it's maybe a quarter of this size. But you can walk into it and be walking through mud and very shallow water for quite a ways. But it's a neat place to go to. They also have endangered species of pupfish in there. So